What's up, good people? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Oh man, I can't do his. He's got a nice smile. He's got a lot nicer smile than I do. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trades. We give technical analysis in different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I'd like to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor nor expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. Today, my friends, we're going to be giving you guys an update on ticker symbol AGTC. We're going to be looking at this. I've got some pretty exciting news. I did end up getting a couple of call options on this, and I know I've been asked by quite a few people what's going on with call options. Do I ever play option plays, right? And I feel pretty comfortable with this one. So I do want to show you that I do have, a call option on this stock. Over here, I do have 4 7.5 call options for an expiration of 19 March 2021. Currently down $30 on this, but I am not worried in the slightest bit. Guys, you saw a little taste of what can happen here. Oh my God. If you could exercise options during the pre-market or after hours, I tell you what, I would be walking out of here pretty decent with a 7.5 strike price, but it is what it is. Guys, we're going to look at the fundamentals of this company, the why. Why should you care? I always want to preface by saying that when I do have a position in a stock, because I don't want to come off as a pumper trying to do this for myself. I'm going to come at this as unbiased as I can, show you what the company looks like, right? So we're going to look at the why. What is the fundamentals of the company? Why do I see some premise here? Why do I see some fundamental good things? Then we're going to look at some news articles, right? Some different news catalysts that could be pushing the stock price. Earnings did come out today, which was a large part of why we saw this huge pump, right? We saw some anticipation for this news to come out, right? Then we're going to look at the charts, the meat and potatoes, right? The 1 month chart as well as the 1 day, 1 minute chart. So look at this both macroscopically and microscopically. I've got a couple different indicators pulled up, and I'll explain these to you if you're not familiar. These are the RSI, which is the relative strength index. Anything over 70 is overbought. Anything under 30 is oversold. This is an indicator that helps you get an idea and picture of overall bullish or bearish momentum. Typically, when there's a lot of bullish momentum, a stock is overvalued, and vice versa. 200 EMA is this purple trend line, and the 15-day MA is this blue trend line. 200 EMA is the exponential moving average. This is a price action-based valuation trend line over a 200-day moving period, which gives us a macroscopic perspective of price action, right? And then the 15-day MA is the moving average, and this, some brokerage accounts call this the SMA, the simple moving average, and this is just a price action-based valuation trend line over a 15-day moving period, which gives us a microscopic perspective of price action. We use these side by side so we can predict upcoming breakouts and when we should get potential entry points into a stock with as little risk as possible, right? So with that in mind, we're going to look at that, right? We're going to look at some different entry points if you are looking at how to play this off as a swing trade, as a midterm hold, long-term hold. If you're looking at different options plays, right? I'm not endorsing that you buy an option call on this or put. Whatever you want to do is totally up to you, my friends. I'm just going to present the information as I see it, and you make your own decisions based off of that. So let's get into the video. What do these guys do? AGTC is Applied Genetic Technologies Corporation. They are a clinical stage biotechnology company. The biotech sector and the pharmaceutical sector is still pretty hot here in February. It's looking pretty good. The company develops gene therapy products designed to manage the lives of patients with severe diseases in ophthalmology. As of March 31st, 2016, its product candidates included treatments for X-linked retinal. I'm going to say all this stuff wrong. I apologize. I apologize ahead of time. Retinocytosis, I'm probably saying that wrong, over 2 forms of achromatopsia and X-linked retinitis pigmentosa. As of March 31st, 2016, the company was engaged in developing 3 discovery programs, targeting 3 indications based on adeno-associated virus vector technologies. XLRSS is an inherited retinal degenerative disease caused by mutations in the retinocytosis 1 gene. Achromatopsia is an inherited condition that is associated with visual acuity loss, extreme light sensitivity resulting in daytime blindness, and reduced or complete loss of color discrimination. Achromatopsia is caused by mutations in any of several genes. The company is also developing alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency alpha-1. And this company is actually very interesting because I used to have a condition, I still do actually, it comes and goes, but it was called bilateral anterior uveitis. And I'm going to pause the video quick just to show you what it is. Okay, so my optometrist. My optometrist would be able to tell you this better, my brother-in-law. But essentially what this was, is it was a condition that caused extreme inflammation and swelling on my optic nerve, which caused my eye to not be able to see, right? I had really bad vision, extreme pain, right? Extreme light sensitivity. Anytime I'd step outside, my eyes would start to water and ooze, just some weird stuff, right? And I had this in both my eyes for quite a while, and it still comes and goes. It might be linked to another condition, which isn't a big deal. I'm not trying to make this about me, but essentially, what is interesting is the talk that's coming around here with this company, what they do, right? They work on a lot of the things that I dealt with, right? An inherited condition that is associated with visual acuity loss, extreme light sensitivity resulting in daytime blindness. I had both those things. Reduced or complete loss of color discrimination. I had some bad color discrimination too, right? So it's very interesting to read about this company and just some of the premise and the promise that they might bring as as you move down the road. Now, what is interesting about this company, right? So if we come over here and we just look at their pipeline, and just look at some of the different products and stuff that they're working on, right? They've got a lot of stuff. They've got XLRP, which is X-linked retinous pigmentosa, right? We talked about that. ACHM, achromatopsia, right? We've got another product for that. We've got ophthalmology, which is bionic sight. That seems extremely interesting to me. We're gonna look at that next. And then we've got, non-syndromic hearing loss and deafness, and then age-related macular degeneration. That is insane. That would be absolutely incredible to get a product out on. But they're working on the proof of concept for both of these. It does go in order of the ones that they have been working on the most. So pigmentosa, they are on phase 2 expansion right now. They've got a lot of stuff that they're working on, which means there's a lot of potential for news catalyst, right? So keep that in the back of your mind. News catalyst with these biopharmaceutical companies, these biotech companies, is absolutely critical. It is a huge piece of what drives price action in a stock, right? So the one that I really want to look at here is the bionic sight. That seems very interesting. So if we just read this really quick, retinous pigmentosa and many other retinal conditions caused by genetic mutations are characterized by progressive loss of retinal photoreceptors. Although many gene-specific AAV product candidates are being developed to treat several forms of inherited retinal conditions where the genetic defect is well characterized, these therapies cannot be used to treat retinas with no remaining photoreceptors. Optogenetics is a novel approach to treating these advanced forms of retinal degeneration. Briefly, with this approach, an AAV gene therapy is targeted to the optic nerve cells instead of the photoreceptors. The gene therapy delivers a light-sensitive protein to the optic nerve cell. Man, this would be so crazy because it actually help my condition a lot, which enables them to receive light and respond by transmitting electrical signals to the brain. Oh my gosh, this is some really crazy high-tech stuff, guys. If they can actually make this happen, right? The thing that really catches my eye, let me find this again, is this. Briefly, with this approach, the AAV gene therapy is targeted to the optic nerve cells instead of the photoreceptors. The optic nerve cells, from my understanding, you really can't regenerate those, right? They don't heal themselves. So that can essentially really do a lot of good for vision loss and for vision issues, right? So I find that very interesting. That does seem like there's some good potential there, right? They've got a lot of different products in the works, and I wanted to pull this up because I find this interesting. This is a news article that came out on February 4th. If we look at the price action back on February 4th on the chart, we can take a quick peek. Investors saw some pretty good stuff here, right? So it did go up pretty well. Went from $4.16 up to about $5.41. So up about $1 from just that news article alone. This was posted at about $12.02, which we did see, cause that pretty nice spike here on the charts. So it looks pretty good. AGTC executives awarded first place in the Bioprocess International Reader's Choice Awards Cell and Gene Therapies category. So there are probably quite a few companies that come to this, right? And to win first place in that category is pretty incredible. So AGTC, focused on yada, 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 with these directors, were awarded first place in the Bioprocess International Magazine inaugural Reader's Choice Awards program Cell and Gene Therapies category for their article, Viral Vector Gene Therapies, Harnessing Their Potential Through Scalable, Reproducible Manufacturing Processes. Very interesting stuff, my friends. There's a lot of good potential here. And we did have their earnings per share come out today. They missed by 1 cent, which isn't terrible, right? It's still a negative thing. You saw a lot of hype here, right? You saw it here in the pre-market. People were they were highly anticipating this to come out. Drove the price all the way up to about $9.63. They missed by 1 cent, and it came back down. But what I do like to see, and I will talk about this later, is it set a new low, right? We didn't come all the way back down to previous levels. There are still people holding a position in this stock, right? That's very important to me. That is very, very important to me, and we saw a huge pump in volume here on AGTC. So that is something that I do want to point out. And then if we look at this is what gives me a lot of confidence. Check this out. H.C. Wainwright analyst, and this was posted today, February 11th, as of 12:25 p.m., right? HC analyst reiterated a buy rating on Applied Genetic Technologies today and set a price target of $24. The company's shares closed last Thursday at $5.52. According to TipRanks, this guy is a top 25 analyst with an average return of 59.6% and a 75.8% success rate. He covers the healthcare sector, yada, yada, yada. Applied Genetic Technologies has an analyst consensus of strong buy with a price target consensus of $21.67. Their market cap is currently $224.7 million, PE ratio of negative 2.3. The company has a price-to-book ratio of 3.72, right? So that's what we're sitting at right now. It's a strong buy rating from quite a few analysts. And what I'm going to check out now here is the institutional ownership on AGTC. So we're going to check out institutional ownership, right? God dang it if I can type. Ownership AGTC. So we're just going to check this out really quick and see what we've got rocking. And according to Fintel, right, this is updated usually pretty much every day. We can take a look at the overall institutional ownership on this company. And as of February 10th, right, we do see that BlackRock has 1.73 million total shares, which is a 4% stake in the company. We see that Renaissance Technologies has a 1 million stake share, share stake at stake share. Maybe that's a cut. Who knows? Of about 3.93% ownership in the company, right? And this is very interesting stuff. You see, there's quite a few companies in here that have a pretty decent stake in the company. Of course, back in 2014, this probably isn't relevant anymore. But I think anything as of 2021, all these 2.8%, 9.23, that's a pretty huge stake by Empire Asset Management. 3.9 million total shares, right? So if we do some quick math, 4 plus 4 is about 8. We'll just keep that at 8 with the 0.1. We've got about 13. That'd be about 22. We'll round that up to 3, which would be 25. Oh, we can't go back that far. Yes, yeah, we can. 25. So we're going to say 25% ownership to err on the side of caution. We're only going to use the 2021 numbers. But if 25% of this company is owned by institutions, that's a large stake. Anything over 10% you should definitely pay attention to. Where big money goes, especially long positions, I don't really care about short positions, right? Long positions for institutional ownership is a big deal. So that was very long-winded, but I wanted to give the most detailed analysis that I could as to why I believe in this company, why I decided to give 4 call options for that 7.5 strike price. And now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, which is the chart setup on AGTC. So bear with me here. We are going to make this go as fast as we possibly can to respect your guys' time. We have a nice ascending upward moving channel, right? We always look for at least 3 touch points. We do have that here. We're going to lower this just a hair so we can get as many as possible. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different touch points. So this is a validated ascending level of support right here, right? This is good. As it sits right now, we are holding up pretty well. We've got 3 touch points right here. These are all hour candles, so I will validate that as a nice level of support at about $5.77. And then we do also have an ascending channel. So we've got 1, 2, 3 different touch points right here. And if we do end up respecting that, that could be the beginning of a nice run. Now, these are some pretty ugly candles. That was a sell-off, right? We had a lot of anticipation for the earnings per share, right? They ended up coming out missing their estimate by about 1 cent, which did end up having this sell-off. But what I do like to see is the volume. We had a huge pump in volume. The correction was down to about 52, right? In terms of correction, it was a pretty harsh one if we include this candle wick, right? Was over 78.6%. But if we do not, right, you're looking at about a recorrection of just over, or under, I should say, 78.6%. So I'm going to call that about 70%, right? This was a pretty huge push, right? A huge pump, a little bit of a dump. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to keep things as transparent as I can, but we had a nice bump in volume here. This is a lot of volume. 9.5 million total shares right here. That is huge. If we look at the daily volume on this, I'm going to be very interested to see how this compares, and that's a lot. That is a lot of volume, my friends. I think that's going to attract some investors that were not looking at this stock before, because that is a lot of volume. That's 16 million total shares compared to the previous day of 5.5 million, right? So that's a big deal. As it sits right now, this is actually still in a little bit of bearish territory, right? Macroscopically speaking, on the daily chart, the 15 MA is just beginning to cross here, just coming up to the 200 EMA, which could indicate you could be looking at a pretty nice bullish run here in the future. On the 1 month chart, we obviously have a nice gap here between the 15 MA and the 200 EMA, right? Which is why this was on my radar. So that looks good. Very bullish territory. The pullback was a little bit harsh, right? But it leveled off. We saw a nice bounce, right? We've got that nice ascending moving channel as of right now. So that's how that's looking on the 1 day, the 1 month chart, I should say. If you're looking at an entry point here to get into AGTC, I think the best opportunity is, I find it likely we break this ascending level of support. Personally, we might not do that, right? It's going to depend on how much volume ends up pumping into this here in the after hours and the pre-market. But I do think it's pretty likely we hold here at 578. If we don't, what's the next level going to be? Well, if we don't hold at 578, we do know that we have this fallback right here at about $5.37. I find it very unlikely that we end up breaking beneath that. So somewhere between 537 and 578, I think are going to be great entry points for you to get into the stock if you are looking to do so. I think there's great potential here in the long term. I think I'm actually going to add to my call positions. I think I'm going to add a call for April as well, and I'm going to set that at a $10 strike. But I will update you guys when I do that, right? I want to be as transparent as I can with my channel, with my content, and I have a lot of faith in this company. So coming over here to the 1 day, 1 minute chart for any last minute things that we might see here. And we had the most action here in the pre-market. We had that anticipation for the earnings, right? An insane gap up, absolutely disgusting, huge volume pumping into the stock, right? See this peak at $9.63, and then a huge sell-off. But what I'd like to see a lot is once that sell-off happened, investors step back in here. We got the George W. We got the double bottom here at $5.10. Investors step back in, push it. Oh, I'm not going to say that number. At $6.65, we will say. And then it came back down, but we stair-stepped. We stair-stepped higher lows and higher highs, which to me indicates strength in a stock. We do have 3 different touch points here, 1, 2, 3, right? Which to me validates that is a nice level of ascending support. And guys, this looks pretty good. I have nothing bad to say about where AGTC is sitting right now. And that is what I have for the video today. So if you enjoyed it, please drop a like. It really does help support the channel. And consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. Lastly, I have an affiliate link in the description box down below for Webull. This is version 4 for the desktop. Absolutely great platform. If you use my link, you get 2 free stocks with a $100 deposit. I'll receive a free stock. Great to support the channel, my friends. And if you're not interested, that's totally fine. I just appreciate your support by taking the time to watch my videos. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, my friends, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.